Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. So, today we are going to talk about the power of visualization. And it is not just theory, I'm going to talk about actually share a story with you today. This is the story that I heard a couple of years back. And then I did a little bit of research and found out that yes, it is absolutely a true story of an individual. So, before we dive into the story, let me introduce myself. I'm Lois Tapa. I'm a mindset coach and a graphologist. And in this video, I will talk about the story of Major James Nesmith, who's an American citizen, and his power of visualization. Let's get started. Major James Nesmith. He was in the military and he was an average golfer who who loved his game, and he used to play golf only for recreation purpose. He was in the army, and he used to score in his golf. He used to score around mid to low 90s, and he definitely had aspirations of improving on his golf game. However, his dreams, got shattered when the Vietnam War started, and he was posted there, from his troop. So what happened is that life completely now took a complete U-turn for him, right? So Major Nesmith was eventually captured in Vietnam, and he was sent to a prison. The prison was so small that it was only 4 by 5 feet, so he couldn't even move much, inside the prison, and it was dark, and visitors were not allowed those days. So he was completely in solitary in that prison. Now, every day, he used to pray to be released, of course. But, that was a prayer. And then he kind of understood that he had to do something, otherwise, he would completely lose his mind. So, Major Nesmith, what he did is, since he loved golf, so what he did is he kind of started to visualize himself in the golf course. He had every day he used to visualize himself, getting ready to go for the golf, and then he used to visualize the feeling of the gloves in his hand, or holding the golf stick, and the feeling of touching the ball, and the feeling of the smell of the grass in the field. He kind of vividly imagined every detail in his mind about the golf course, and he kind of experienced it at the highest detail. He imagined the clothes that he'd be wearing, and he thought about the smell of that freshly cut grass, the feel of the warm sun, and the gentle breeze on his skin. He'd also see from his mental movie that how the trees are there, and he would hear even the birds singing and the squirrels chattering. He would envision every slope of the golf course. Then he would visualize himself grabbing the club and feeling its grip on his fingers, kind of rough. He'd also picture himself standing there, he'd lifting the club and feeling its weight in his hands. He would picture himself swinging that club, and he would imagine doing this practice every single day. He would practice the swings in his mind movie, and getting ready to hit the ball. He would also see himself looking at the ball once he took that shot, and he'd also follow the ball's path as it flew smoothly, landing on all that, the cozy green lawns, and the cozy green lawns, and then, going into, uh, he would imagine himself getting higher scores, of course. Yeah. But in the real world, he was never in a rush because golf was his escape, as he was a military person. So he would take his time and he would enjoy every moment. In reality, so he did the same when he was visualizing. He took his time, he was not in a rush. And, though he was in this small cage like circumstance in Vietnam, he never stopped dreaming of playing this golf game. Yeah. And then what happened? Imagine. Now, physically, he was not there on course, but with each shot in his mind, he ensured that he played it to the tee. Yeah, and he did this visualization. You won't believe if I said that. He did it for 7 continuous years. That was his 7 years of imprisonment. Now, here's where the story takes a complete amazing turn. Major Nesmith was finally released after 7 years and he came back home to America. Physically, his condition had deteriorated, and as you would expect, because he was living in a tiny cage, his movements were restricted. He didn't have enough nutrition, sunlight, and so on. But once he recovered a little bit, way back home, he soon returned to his golf course because that was something he loved, and he decided to go and play the golf at his favorite course. You won't believe what happened. He amazingly shot a 74. So earlier, his score was around low 90s. And now, after 7 years of just practicing golf mentally, not, not physically, he was still good at it. He shot 74. And he hadn't swung the real bat in 7 years and had undergone like indescribable physical, deprivation. So isn't this remarkable? Now, let me tell you this. This is a fact that I'm talking right now. So, neuroscience still tells us that we have the ability to intentionally reshape our brains just by our thoughts and experiences. The thoughts, feelings, and emotions that go through our minds ultimately determines the content and the quality of our lives. This means we can train our brains. We can develop those marvelous results that we desire. Now, it's not only visualization doesn't help it. Uh, there are other methods that we can use along with visualization. But believe me, visualization is the superpower of manifestation. And people like Major James Nesmith are like super classic example of this power. Napoleon Hill once said, "What the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." Think about it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, like it, and share it and subscribe. Share it with your friends and family. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe for such practical content. Thank you so much for watching.